We have entered a time where there's no more freebies, there's no more getting over, there's no shortcuts, and there's none of that within this time room. We have officially entered a time room where not even a time rim, a rim of a reality of if one has been taking shortcuts. And what I mean by that is if your vessel feels like it's been shortcutted, it will start to show because the frequencies and vibrations that's here is going to wake it up. It's going to say, no, you have healing to do here still. You shortcutted yourself in this area. You need to work on yourself in this area. So the overall message that I'm getting is that it's preparation time. It's preparation time for the areas that we missed. It's preparation time for the areas that we missed in the physical, but mostly internal. You see what I'm saying? It's more of a vibration frequency of a knowing, saying, I'm consciously knowing that I didn't even work on myself in this area. I didn't 100% give my all in that area of my life. Whether it's career, spiritual work, family life, internal speaking, how we speak to ourselves, how we speak to others, communication, having an equal balance, grounding ourselves, eating right, those areas in our life will start to show where we lack that because the vibration and frequency is going to tell it. It's going to show. It's going to be plain as day as, oh, I need to work on myself in that area. You see what I'm saying? So when I came into a knowledge through Rastafari, I clearly understood the mission. And it was a daily spiritual lifestyle, work, career path, spirituality, internally, externally, you know, on an overall scale, understand, overstand, you know what I'm saying? To understand, you know what I'm saying? It was ever since I came into the knowledge of Rastafari, I knew. I knew it was a soul mission, a soul purpose. I knew that there's no turning back. You know what I'm saying? That there's no other way. It's only Jah. You know what I'm saying? My focus is on Jah. I and I are one with the Most High. You see, so Grand Rising, y'all. So I understand, overstand that when it comes down to the things that we have to work on, peace, peace, it's a seriousness to it. It has nothing to do with no validation from anybody. It has nothing to do with social media and likes. This all has to do with loving and liking yourself, validating yourself, saying, no, I'm going to work on this area in my life purposely, intentionally, so that I'm going to upgrade. Jah Rastafari. Of course, I believe in the Most High. The Most High is a connection. It's an overall being. It's an overall, how do you treat yourself? How are you treating the God in you? Mary made it clear to us as a black community through Christianity to say it's the God in me, to show you that God is within you. Stop looking outside of yourself for the answers. All the answers you need is within yourself. There's no need to no longer look outside of yourself for the answers. And this is something that we have to understand, overstand through our alignment, saying, no, God is within I. I was led astray through religion. You see what I'm saying? It's okay to know that no one is perfect, that we're not perfect. That's the point of growing. That is the need of growth. That is the purpose of growth. So understand, overstand, and understand what I'm saying here. We live in a vibration frequency moment of time where it is intentionally saying, I'm going to do the work. Not for no one else, but for self, for a connection with the Most High, to do Jah's work. So then for everything else will be provided for. Everything else, there will be no need. You know what I'm saying? There will be no wants for certain things anymore. Everything will be provided for. But it overall starts from a oneness with the Most High, centering yourself, grounding yourself, paying attention to what you're putting inside of your body and what you're not, paying attention to how far you came. Understanding, overstanding, like, wow, I've came a long way. Giving yourself that validation, showing yourself that self-love. We live in a frequency vibration time now, RIM, where we can no longer not practice our self-love. We live in a time frame in a RIM where we will no longer seek validation outside of ourselves. No more. We are forever internal. That's why I call it eternal life, because it starts within. It starts within. So within, so without. So they say you reap what you sow. So when it comes down to simply saying you reap what you sow, it has always been a negative, mindset towards it. But it's also a mindset of positivity, saying, I'm grounding myself, so I am going to reap the benefits of it. I'm eating properly, so I am going to reap the benefits of it. I am focusing on my spiritual work, so I will reap the benefits from it. You know what I'm saying? It's not a negative mindset. Babylon gives a negative mindset on certain words and use these certain words as spells. He said, love what you're doing. Keep spreading the word of the Lord. Savior. You see? So we have to understand, overstand that. I appreciate that. But I understand, overstand that it's me focusing on my own self, so then the light shines within to spread to others. But we have to understand, overstand that it takes us to go within first. It takes us to go within to then allow Jah, the Most High, to then work on everything else. You know how they say, give it to them, give it to God. They say, give it to God, right? Once you say you give it to God, that means that you have already done the internal work. That's what that means. When you say, I gave it to God, a long time ago, that is easily, simply saying that I have done the work. So therefore, there's no need for I to search and try to do these different things. No, I gave it to Jah. I gave it to God. That means it has been done. So we have to understand, understand that Babylon is not going to tell you to wake up every day and ground yourself. Babylon is not going to tell you to wake up and to fast. They're going to tell you to wake up and have coffee and go eat breakfast and then go to that job and go outside of yourself every single time. There will never be a time in a day frame where Babylon is going to push you in the right direction for yourself, purposely. Babylon is not going to do that. That is something that you must do each and every day, if that's what you want to do. If that's what you want to upgrade, you want the blessings, you want this and that, you must make conscious choices each and every simple day of your life, moment in time, going forward. You must simply say, I'm putting my best foot forward, not for nobody else, but for the Most High, for what Jah tell me to do, what Jah say so. We must understand, understand that I'm not doing nothing for no one else. I'm doing things for myself eternally, so then I'm able to do things for others. You see? So this is where it comes in at. We must do the internal work, so then we are properly moving in our soul purpose. Properly, purposely, properly moving in our soul purpose. But it takes one to go within first. It takes one to stay within first. It takes one to have an overall connection. It's not self-absorption. It's not narcissism. It's not seeking validation. No, it's called confidence, being fearless, on a mission, a sole purpose, intentionally. You see what I'm saying? Babylon, mixes up all these words and uses these different words as spells to make others feel low, to make people feel low vibrational. But these same words is meant to be used for positive things. Someone say that you're confident, that means you're fearless. You see what I'm saying? In Babylon, they say if you have confidence, you're arrogant. No, when you have confidence, that means you're fearless. You know what Jah said. You stand on what the Most High wants you to do. You stand on your soul purpose. You stand on your mission. That's being fearless. That's being confident, not arrogant, not narcissistic, not individualistic. That is being on your path. That is being on your purpose. And the ones that feel as if, oh, that person is that way, that means they have to go within themselves. That means they can't see from your eye. I seen a video just yesterday about Muhammad Ali, and he was saying something about how he was in a time rim where he could see farther than others, but the ones that was trying to see where he was at, they deemed it as dangerous. They seen his lifestyle, the way that he was living, as dangerous, when he just knew that he could see farther than others. He knew with confidence that you can't tell me what the Most High is telling me. The Most High is telling me these things. Just because I see farther than you doesn't mean I'm better than you. That means I see farther. So that doesn't mean that you be scared for me. That means you should be celebrating me because I am able to see farther. You see what I'm saying? So I'm learning, understanding, overstanding that through Bob, through people, through our ancestors, through Bob Marley, like I said, through Muhammad Ali. I'm seeing that all my ancestors, these people that came before us, these highly vibrational, motivational, stamps to our people. It is an overall mindset, rim that others cannot reach unless they do the work. It's not something that can be skipped. It's not something that can just be, I'm gonna take a shortcut. There was no shortcuts in Bob Marley's music. There was no shortcuts in Muhammad Ali's, championship, just overall drive. There was no shortcuts. And this is the overall time and frame where we're living in a time frame where your shortcuts will be seen. You know what I'm saying? It will be saying, okay, I need to work on this more. I'm gonna be more intentional on working on this side of myself. You see what I'm saying? So I understand that we as a people, we as a whole, as a collective, as a tribe, we must know that there's no more shortcuts. Stop shortcutting yourself. Stop shortcutting yourself. Because when it gets to that point where you reap what you sow, what you reap is gonna be like, oh, I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't. No, you're gonna know that what you reap is because of what you sowed. Excuse me. You're gonna know. You're gonna overall know. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna overall know. So I understand that when it comes down to having a relationship with Jah, having a relationship with the Most High, you must go internal first. This is not something that is rocket science. When someone thinks of an invention, they go internal first and then they create it. It is not rocket science. It's very, very, very simple. When someone invents something, they go within first and then create it on the outer. It becomes spiritual, then it becomes physical. You see what I'm saying? I understand that we have no time for shortcuts. Thank you. Get off my channel. Goodbye. You see, I am no longer accepting anyone or anybody or anything that's trying to shortcut their way around spirituality, into their soul purpose. No. For validation, for money, for anything outside of themselves. We don't deal with that over here. We don't deal with entities that want to be on the spiritual realm, that want to be on their spiritual path for currency. No, we We the people are on our spiritual path, on our sole purpose for healing humanity, healing ourselves, healing each other. If the currency and the funds and things of that nature come along, so be it. That is because it came from Jah. But we are no longer, we never supposed to ever say, I'm gonna work on my spiritual self so then I can have these funds, or, no. It stems from healing, whether it's healing yourself, whether it's healing your, breaking generational curses, whether it's healing your family traumas. That is the currency. That is the funds. That is the money. That is the win. It's breaking internal, you know what I'm saying? Spiritual curses on your life, on your family, on your children. That is the currency. That is the focus. That is where the money is at. That is where you can strive. That's how you upgrade. We live in a realm where there's no more trying to seek money just to cover up the traumas, to cover up the generational curses, to cover up all of these things. That's what they do. That's what Babylon does. They want to use money and use power to they want to use money and power to make it seem like they've been good people. No, they were never good people. They did us dirty. They did us bad. But they use money and power to say, oh no, we're nice now. We're going to use the money to... No. Are you forgetting? No, they're using the money and the power to try to make us forget. They use the Wi-Fi. They use the, trying to block the sun. They use the food to try to make us forget upon what was done to our people. I will never forget what was done to our people. I will never forget what was done to us. I will never forget that. And that's why I sit here and I know that through my lineage, through my seed, that they won't forget either. And this is things that we must know. These are things that we must know. And you see someone is in here talking about cash. You have to understand, you're selling your soul to the bag. And you have no spiritual essence. That is the problem. When you're sitting there saying, oh, things about money, get your spiritual life up. Get your essence up. Get your history up. Get to knowing the knowledge of yourself and your path up. Don't come over here being upset because you don't have a spiritual essence. It's okay. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to bash nobody. I'm not here to say no one is better than, you know what I'm saying? That's not what this is for. This is for healing. This is for truth. We have to start running from our traumas and saying, you know what? I was trying to, follow the bag and get the bag because I didn't want to heal my wounds. I wanted to just focus on the money and go to that job because I didn't want to focus on my spiritual life. I'm speaking from a mindset of my own self as well. I was at a point in my life where I just focused on money and said, you know what? That spiritual stuff can wait. My spiritual life can wait. I'm not going to ground myself this morning. I can ground myself another day. I'm not going to eat right. I'll eat right, later in life. No, it starts now. It starts today. We are no longer living that life. This is not what we do over here. We do not waste a day of saying, oh, I'll work on my spiritual stuff later. No. No. That is no longer, I'm going to try to eat better later. No. I'll go live. No. Another day. No. I'll work on my art. No. Today. Start upgrading yourself today because you reap what you sow in these times of today. We are living in a time where what you will reap what you sow. So 20, 30 years from now, things are going to be marvelous. If not even just 20, 30 years from now. It's right around the corner. You reap what you sow now. So if you saying that, you know what, I'm going to risk everything in my life right now to work on my spiritual wealth, work on my temple, work on my inner self, on my inner being. The benefits in the future from what I sowed, I will reap. It's going to be beautiful. We have to understand that we can no longer do things not even purposeful. Everything is intentional. There is no more of just living life willy-nilly, saying, you know what, just winging it. There is no more of winging life. There's no more of winging your life. There's no more just saying, I'm going to go with the flow. Yes, you can go with the flow. Go with the flow with your own self. Not go with the flow on what Babylon says go with the flow. Saying, I'm going to wake up and eat breakfast and then I'm going to go about my day. No, that is Babylon flow. Wake up and ground yourself. Wake up and fast. Wake up and speak positive to yourself. Wake up and write affirmations. Don't wake up and go with Babylon's flow and wake up and get coffee and leave the house and go chase the bag. You're selling your soul, you're leaving your essence, you're leaving your soul purpose behind. And as we just said, you reap what you sow. If you're sitting there saying that, oh, I'm going to put my spiritual path on the back burner, you will no longer have a spiritual path. You will forever be lost. But we don't teach that over here. We teach preparation. We teach intentions. We teach grounding, purposeful mission, intentional mission. Not for external validation. No, for self-realization, for self-enhancement, for self-knowledge. So then you can bring healing to the people for within what you learn within yourself. We live in a time where if you are not healing the next, if you are not attempting to heal yourself, if you are not attempting to break generational curses, if you are not attempting to get over traumas, it will show. You will feel it. This is not something that you can avoid. This is not something that anyone can avoid. This is not a competition. Has to do with, hold on, I skipped some steps. I'm going to go work on those steps now. Each and every moment of your day, of this time, in this moment, we must stay 1 foot ahead. There's no days anymore. There's no time ahead anymore that we could put our spiritual life on the back burner. No more. There's no more days that you can wake up and say, I'm not going to ground myself. There's no more days that you say, I'm going to wake up and not speak positive to myself and have affirmations. There's no more days I'm not going to, not going to wake up and say, I'm going to work on my spiritual life today, my career, what I'm supposed to be doing, my purpose. There's no more of that. We have officially went through the 8-8 portal and it's still here. It is still here. Just because it's not 8-8 anymore, the vibration frequency is still here. The full moon just was at 3:55 a.m. this rising. It's only 9:09 a.m. This frequency and energy is still here. This consciousness will not go away. We must understand, overstand that career, that path that you've been wanting, that came through Babylon, was never the path for you. You have a spiritual essence. You have a spiritual gift. Use it. Use it in this time. It is needed in this time. It is needed in this room. If you know that you are a healer, if you know you've been doing your spiritual work, if you know you have knowledge, start spreading your knowledge for healing, not for currency, for healing. If currency comes along the way, it is a blessing. Absolutely. But we must know that the true currency is knowing your soul path. The true currency is understanding, overstanding your natal chart. These are the things, these are the must-dos. These are the must-dos to upgrade. Not for validation, but knowing that where you have came from and where you're going, you want to reap great benefits. There's nothing wrong with reaping great benefits by saying, you know what, I'm going to sacrifice something. I'm going to sacrifice, focusing on money to focus on my internal self, focus on my health. Health is wealth. We know these Babylon terms, but what do we use them for? Health is wealth. When you are purposely, intentionally saying, I'm going to focus on my health, then you will be wealthy. You will feel wealthy. It's not something that we can shortcut anymore. You can't say that, oh, I'm going to eat this and this today, but then no, you're going to reap what you sowed. You're going to be on that toilet, your stomach's probably going to hurt. And now You kind of probably messed up a blockage within your connection of that day and that moment in time. Now tomorrow or whatever, now go ground yourself, go cleanse yourself, go fast, and restart. We don't live in a time where we can take any more shortcuts. We understand, overstand that Babylon is in control or was in control and has been in control. But there's no longer of that. You are in control of what you want, each and every step that you take each day. If you are clearly saying, you know what, I'm going to ground myself every day, 365 days this year. If you just say, I'm going to make that a mission, watch the benefits. Not just the benefits of, spirituality and higher consciousness, but within your body, within your heart, within your, your nervous system. See what I'm saying? Within your flexibility, within your blood flow. These are not things that we can ignore no more. Health is wealth. You cannot sit here and say, oh, I'm a spiritual teacher, but I smoke cigarettes. I'm a spiritual teacher, but I drink. No. See, I understand, overstand that each and everybody has their own remedies, and each and every one has their own spirituality and things of that nature and their own connection. But without balance, without true balance, certain things will not work anymore in this time frame. If it's not intentional, certain things will not work in this time frame. Like I was speaking about the other day, alcohol. Alcohol was meant to be a cleanser. From what I'm knowledgeable about, it was used for pain, like in the army and things of that nature. When someone, was hurt, they would put alcohol, or when they were trying to, wrap them up, stitch them up or whatever, they would give them some of this to give them something to and slow down the bleeding, I believe, or something like that. I'm not sure if it is or if it does that, but to just deal with the pain. We talk about the herb. Certain herbs, certain things are meant for pain. It's intentional. It's sacrament. So I'm not sitting here, saying that, whoever spiritual teachers do, it has to be balanced. We have to understand that true balance is shown. If you walking around here smoking cigarettes and you see a spiritual teacher and you drinking, it's going to be shown on your pigmentation. It's going to show on your outer being. You cannot hide that anymore. It's going to show. It's going to smell on you. These are not things that we can go past anymore. These are things that we can't ignore anymore. There's real fake spiritual people out here that think that they can do certain things and it won't be shown. No, no, it will be shown in this time frame. You cannot get away with taking shortcuts. There's no shortcuts in this time frame anymore. Babylon, they commend, they cheer for shortcuts. They want people to say, you know what, I'm not going to ground myself outside. I'll just ground myself inside. I'm not going to eat breakfast. I'll eat a small breakfast, but I'm still going to eat breakfast though. I'm not going to fast today. I'll just fast for, from juice today, or I'll just fast from sodas today. But you see what I'm saying? It's no more shortcuts. It's no more shortcuts. Grand rising, grand rising. There's no more shortcuts because you reap what you sow. We live in a time of truth. We don't live in a time of cover up no more. There's no more covering up your spiritual path. There's no more covering up your life. There's no more covering up your essence. There's no more covering up. Because Jah, the Most High, sees that you're hiding yourself. Stop hiding yourself. If you want to keep hiding yourself, you will be hidden from the blessings. And the blessings ain't just currency. It's spiritual wealth. See? Jah, RASTAFARI, Selassie.